It started. The time is here. The time is now. Live in the building, our guest, Chief Adebayo Adelabu. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mayor. Good to be back here again. I'm so glad to be with you guys here. I'm not in the best of spirits this morning anyway. We are all aware of all that's been happening to me personally and to a lot of respected members of our party. I just love their lives. Firstly, let me apologize my failure to appear here as promised last week Saturday. The reason is quite known to everybody. I lost a very close brother of mine who was a very close ally, a loyalist, and a Penkelemes to the core, brother Yaya Adekola Busari. May his soul rest in peace. And I will just indulge. I would like you to indulge me just to say a surah from the Quran, just for God to be able to repose the soul of our loved one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah Ahad, Allah Samad, Lam Yali wa Lam Yulad, wa Lam Yakun Lahu Kufuwan Ahad. May the Almighty Allah repose the soul of Brother Yaya. At the same time, I want to pray for the repose of the soul of our leaders, our elders in APC that also lost their lives in the past couple of weeks. I'll start from Pa Salawuddin Adelere in Ishayin. I'm talking about Chief Farino, who was the former chairman of AD for about 8 years, and of late, our dear Baba and our strong supporter, our pillar of support, Chief SM Akindele, who also died in Oyo. May the Almighty Allah repose the soul of the dead, and may He grant us the energy and the fortitude to bear all these irreparable losses. Lastly, before I stop on this, I also want to thank the good and the great people of Oyo State who have been praying for our leader, for my leader, for the leader of our party in Oyo State, and the deputy chairman of Alliance of APC, All Progressive Congress Party, and who is also the acting chairman of the party. We pray the Almighty Allah to grant him good health. We pray for quick recovery of our leader, and very soon we are very sure that he will be back on his feet. We all know his capability. We know what he can do. Once he's ill and hearty, all the problems that we've been having in our party at the national level, I'm sure he's capable of bringing in his experience and his personality to resolve them. We pray for Governor Abiola Isiaka Ajimobi to recover quickly. And for those that have been carrying rumor about his death, I want to appeal to you that we are not going to gain anything wishing our fellow human being dead. This man served Oyo State with all he had for 8 years. He gave his best, and all he achieved are quite visible to everybody. We could see the road infrastructures. We could see his contribution in education, in health, in commerce, in industrialization, in tourism, in everything. So I think the least that we hold this man is to continue to pray for him to regain his health in no time, not to wish him dead. And I pray that the Almighty Allah will hear our prayers. Thank you very much. Once again, good morning, my great people of Oyo State. I'm glad to be back here again after 1 year.
and you are good to go. You are ready to fire.
After 1 year, people have been asking me, you've been quiet, you've not been talking. I said, for 3 things. Number one, we just finished an election, and the Almighty Allah has picked the leader for us, the state governor, the engineer Sheyi Makinde, which will give him opportunity and the time to run his government, to serve the people of the state. If I had to be talking since we finished the election and we went to the court and the court said, he was the authentic winner, we just have to agree that that's our governor, and we all must pray and support him. If I start talking before 1 year, I don't think I will be fair to the man, which is why I had to wait after 1 year before you can say, okay, what we hold our people in Oyo State, what we owe the government is to come here and make our own comment in terms of advice to this government on what they have left undone, and we praise them what they have done too. So I'm not here to criticize the government. I'm not here to condemn the activities of government, and I'm not here to start comparing the administration of Governor Ajimobi of 8 years with that of Governor Shibakede that is just 1 year old. That would be very, very unfair. But what I hold the state as a bona fide stakeholder of this state is to point the attention of governments to areas that will need improvement. They have 3 more years to go. Even if they haven't met our expectation in the last 1 year, they have 3 more years to make corrections. If we keep quiet, I don't think we are doing ourselves any good. Like my people will say that, if the state does not perform, my businesses will not perform. My families will not have money. My friends and my close ones. So it is actually my wish to see the state, blossoming. That's the only way we can also benefit from the state. I should pray that it doesn't perform so that I can be elected in 2023. No, it doesn't work that way. Governor Ajimobi performed for 8 years. We could see all that he achieved. At the end of the day, he was not able to install a successor. So it's God that chooses leaders. It's God that chooses state governors. Whether you perform or you don't perform. Even if you didn't perform, if God says it's going to be there, it will be there. But we know that our people will want to know what's on the other side. Come 2023. Thank you very much.
What an intro. What an intro.
The interview has been concluded.
I'm just getting a brief here. Dr. Yinka Ifele MON, the chairman of FreshFM, is extending his regard to you now.
Oh, my regards to my dear brother. I will see him after the program if he's around.
Yes, let's get it started. Of course, the conversation we'll be having, and I'm quite impressed with your opening salvos. You've been able to capture exactly the essence of this conversation. And for those that are also listening to us, our areas of discourse this morning, two critical areas, politics and, of course, the current state of our state. You wake up this morning, you check up the national dailies. It's not been a good news, nationally speaking. This country, just last week, we lost 79 Nigerians to the handle of COVID-19. 79. This is just past week, 79. And 23 in Lagos yesterday. In Oyo State, yesterday, double digit, 45 cases. 2 days ago, we had 103. So, COVID on my mind as we, fired up this morning. I just want to ask you, there's a big debate going on in our states now, in the last couple of days. The state government just directed that worship centers and schools designated categories of pupils, SS3, JSS3, Primary 6, who are getting ready to write exams, until it got truncated because of COVID, should resume. Since that announcement, including worship centers, government also expect them to also reopen, but operating at 25% capacity. Since that announcement, there's been a lot of back and forth. A lot of critical stakeholders, NMA, MBA, and of course, great sons and daughters of these states have opined in their own view that they don't think is the decision that is right as we speak in terms of these numbers that we keep seeing every single day. There are those who believe, why not? If not, we can't continue to be locked down for too long. Chief Adebayo Adelabu, as a critical stakeholder in the Oyo project, what is your stand in this ongoing debate about reopening of school and worship centers?
Thank you very much, Mayor. Before I comment on your question, I think I missed something out in my introduction, which is to pray to Almighty Allah to also repose the soul of all those that lost their lives to this pandemic, COVID-19.
Amen.
And also wish all the current victims quick recovery. I pray that they will gain their health very soon. The issue of pandemic is historical, and there are available literature which is why I'm surprised the way we have handled this case so far, not just in Oyo State, at the national level and in a lot of other states. We have displayed a lot of ignorance, and we have displayed a lot of nonchalant attitude towards resolving these issues. If I want to take you back briefly, as far as history can capture, the first outbreak that we could remember was in 1852 to 1860, about 131 years ago, when there was an outbreak. And in 1889, we had an outbreak of influenza that killed more than 1 million people. That was about 102 years ago. And in the last century, 1918, between 1918 and 1920, we had an outbreak of flu, which also killed a lot of people. That was about 102 years ago. 64 years ago, there was an outbreak of Asian flu. That was between 1956 and 1958. And this killed over 50 million people throughout the world. And just 40 years ago, 1980, we had what is called AIDS, HIV, and all that. About 2 million people lost their lives in this. Then later we had the Ebola virus and all that. Then COVID came, which started from Wuhan, which is a city in China, and it has killed over 300,000 people worldwide so far. You know, in all this, and from the literature that I have seen on all this, there are laid down procedures to handle such outbreak. The first is the preventive measures, which is the first thing. On noticing the first outbreak, the first illness case anywhere in the world, you lock down. There are two types of lockdown. There's the full lockdown, total lockdown, and there's the partial lockdown. When you lock down, it will achieve three things. Number one, it will localize the spread of this virus within a particular locality, because people will not have the opportunity and the privilege to move around. Number two, it will make tracking or tracing easy, because there are limited number of places that people will have gone to. Not that you will have gone to the club, go to the supermarket, go to the market and all that. And it's even worse in this environment where we don't have identities. So when you lock down, you'll be able to trace easily. And number three, it will afford the government the opportunity to make preparation in terms of opening isolation centers, purchasing of testing equipment, treatment equipment, and all that, within the first 2 weeks, or depending on the gestation period of this particular virus. In case of COVID-19, it is 2 weeks. We missed that opportunity, both nationally and in Oyo State. The moment we notice the first index case, no matter what, we will not die if we lock down totally in 2 weeks. Hunger will not kill anybody. Then afterwards, we can start releasing the lockdown, relieve it to partial lockdown and all that. We did not do that. And we cannot go back there because we have lost that opportunity. So we have failed on preventive measures. The thing is already in our midst and it's living with us. So, but we have 4 other opportunities to curb this. The next is protective measures, which is social distancing. You avoid people gathering in too large numbers. You close up some markets. You close up clubs, restaurants, bars, and people will also be advised to wash their hands regularly, use face covers, and other protective measures that we believe can curb the spread of this. But how far have we gone on this? It's a pity, I can tell you, in Oyo State, in Ibadan here, that our people are not protecting themselves. I can tell you that a lot of people don't even believe that there is this COVID-19.
Whose fault?
I'm coming to that. It's about the failure of the awareness campaign of government. I can tell you that. The micro cabs, go and see them on the road, 6, 7 passengers, no face covers, nothing. Okadas, 2, 3 passengers. You go to Bodija Market, go to Jema, go to Ritamari, go to anywhere. You see people in large numbers without protecting themselves. And why? Because the awareness campaign is not enough. We have given the impression that this pandemic is only for the rich and the mighty, because it is the death of the rich and the mighty that we publicized. Today, the wife of the former IG is dead. Today, Dan Foster is dead. Tomorrow, Bidun is dead. People that we know are well-to-do, they are rich. What is the profile of the people that have died based on the scores that we see every day? Have you gone to Oje to show me number of people that died in the market? Have you gone to Orita Mary? Have you publicized people living in the interiors that are dying every day? No, we have not done that. Have you shown us 2, 3, 4 of death incidents where the family they're leaving behind are crying, they're wailing? All this will attract the emotions of the people, and they will believe that this thing actually exists. What we have told our people is that this is just for a section of the society, which is the high and the mighty. And it is not. The poor masses are even dying in larger numbers. But we don't air them, they don't publicize them. So I believe the awareness campaign is poor. So on protective measures, we are not doing well at all. We are not doing well. That is why the case keeps increasing on a daily basis.
When you talk about protective measures, that the government is not doing so much in terms of enlightenment, and you've gone around, people are not doing the needful. Has it got to do more with they not being told, or the issue of enforcement?
My number 3 measure is the enforcement measures.
Okay.
You understand? Because people ordinarily, they don't like to obey rules, to obey laws, obey regulations. But that's why government is there, to whip them to compliance. But how many enforcement officers have we seen? The civil servants are there. They're at home now. This is the time we are paying salaries, for God's sake. This is the time we can actually make use of government, public, civil servants to go out there and enforce compliance with the protective measures.
How will a civilian civil servant compel somebody? Are you saying they should go and cancel?
In terms of
but when you not say enforce,
yes.
I don't say civil servants forcing somebody in Oje to obey government rule.
They're not forcing.
Because
they will appeal. When people see government officials, they will respect them. If there is a law that, this market, we only want 50% of the shops to open. Have you met the Traders Association and let them have, in terms of order, who are the people that will come to the market today? Who are the people that will come the following day? Before you enter the market, where do you wash your hands? Where are the sanitizers? Are you allowed to enter the market without using a face cover? If government officials are not there to ensure that these are complied with, they will not do it.
Do you think the security agencies to also have
how many of them?
No, I'm just asking.
They do, of course, but they are not enough. How many police officers will leave his normal routine and be involved in enforcement of COVID-19 protective measures? This is when you can use. We have Ministry of Health. We have staff there at the Secretariat. You have Ministry of Environment. We have staff there at the Secretariat. They are all at home now. You can recruit them, train them. You understand? And tutor them on how we can go around to enforce this. People will enforce when they see that there are people around to make sure that they do the right things. But they will not do. I have not seen any of the officer, whether it's a military personnel, is a security personnel, or is a civilian. I have not seen anybody around. We should be able to enforce. So we have failed on that. Then the number 4 is actually detective measures in terms of testing. How many people have we tested? And what is the testing procedures? Do we move from one organization to the other? Do we move from one ward to the other? Do we move from one local government to the other? From one area to the other?
Let me cube in on this.
Yes.
As we speak this morning, we are running community testing in 10 different locations.
We've
5
only
in Ibadan.
tested 7,000 people.
Absolutely.
After how many months? 7,000 out of over 7.something million. That's less than 0.1% of the entire. You understand? So, and as we are testing, new cases will be revealed. We are just lucky in this climate, this environment, that our atmosphere, our temperature is also not encouraging the spread of this.
We're going to rainy season now.
Tropical environment.
But we're going to
and all
rainy
that.
season now.
Because the thing is actually covered by fat. When there is sun, it gets exposed. You understand? And again, because we also have stronger antibodies around the air. You understand? So unlike in the Western world, where they die, more rapidly than we do here. So we are just lucky. Otherwise, the case would have been worse than what we are seeing. But at the same time, if you don't take all these measures, the thing will go beyond what you can actually contain. And lastly, I will talk about treatment infrastructures, which is the last one. How many isolation centers do we have? How many beds do we have in Oyo State today? If you are seeing 40, 30, 25, 60 every day, before you know it, we're over 1,000. Olodo is about 100 beds. Jericho is about 4 beds. Shaki is about 25 beds, which has not even started anyway. So we don't have treatment infrastructure. So we are not prepared, I must tell you.
We also admit that if the previous administration of Governor Adebayo has done a lot in the area of health, 1 year, like you rightly observe, of this new government, if we have a solid foundation in terms of health structure, what he needs to do is just to build on it.
Yes.
And what this complaint you just raised is more of a revelation of the fact that we've not been getting it right when it comes to health in the state. Have been an issue.
Of course, I will let you know that this COVID-19 has exposed every government, both at the national level
and the state
level. Not even in healthcare infrastructures alone. The fact that we don't even know ourselves. Like I said earlier, we don't have identities. It's a joke when you tell me you want to trace people. Who do you want to trace? If anybody just is out there from the isolation center, you can never find him. Not in Nigeria. What's his name? What's his address? What's his location? We live with even non-Nigerians here anyway.
That's the national problem.
So national problem. But a state can also solve the problems. Why can't we have a local census? I even know. Because when we are talking about the palliative measures, we are going to feed so many households. How many households do we have in Oyo State? What is the profile of these households in terms of economic profiling? How many of them are civil servants? How many of them are self-employed? How many of them are artisans? How many of them are unemployed? If you don't have such data, such statistics, whatever you are doing, you are just doing in vain. I'm telling you. So now, health infrastructures, which is a social investment that the government must focus on. Look at the way this has exposed us. Like I told you that we are just lucky. If we have the same situation as they have in the
maybe
West,
he might strain of COVID is with us.
You understand?
Yeah.
So
that's not as deadly.
Now, even if you had, for example, I would say that, okay, you talked about Governor Ajimobi. The Olodo Center is what he did anyway. If he had not done that, the government will not be able to use that. But in 3-4 months, what has the government done to build on what Ajimobi left? Let's say left little, but he did something. You understand? And they said the first 2 weeks of this pandemic, and they said we spent 1 billion. I was taken aback. I said, if we had 1 billion to spend on this kind of, I'm an accountant. I know the value of money. If you spend 1 billion naira on State General Hospital Adebayo, Yemetu, or Ring Road, Oyo, or General Hospital at Ogbomoso or Shaki, we will see the impact. Put together in Oyo State, the hospital beds that we will have is now up to 500. All the hospitals.
I hope you understand how much it costs to test a COVID patient.
I do, of course.
So if you have tested over 7,000, you agree with me that is running to millions of naira, right?
It's millions of naira. We are talking 1 billion here the first 2 weeks.
No, I'm just
when we
telling
had
you.
just 3 cases, and they said they spent 1 billion. I was like, wow, where is this from? You understand? Which is why we need money.
So, summarily, because we have so much to talk about today.
Yes.
Summarily speaking, you believe strongly that both at the national and the state level, we've not been proactive enough.
We have not been,
and you feel that this state government,
which is
has,
why maybe I'm jumping the gun.
You gave a background now.
I will let you know that even if we have not done much in the past, this is the time for us to take the opportunity to start doing something on health. So why are we going to be spending money on motor parks at this point in time if this is people's lives so much important to us?
So bus terminal shouldn't be.
It's a commercial investment.
We'll still get to
why
bus
should
terminal.
the government spend its money?
We will get to bus terminals.
They should bring in investors.
We will get there.
And use our money to build hospitals and build churches and build schools. That's what I'm saying.
We'll get there. So you believe, as far as you're concerned, the COVID has been poorly and badly managed by this current administration. From the point of awareness, from the point of enforcement, and in terms of
protection,
and committing resources.
Yes.
Justifiably to you. That question that I asked earlier, what with this view that you have expressed, do you now think the conversation going on about school reopening and the worship center reopening?
Sincerely, there is no rocket science about that. I don't have to think before I will tell you that it's not yet time for schools to resume. Let me tell you, if you look at the profile of people that died anyway, you won't see so many children there. You won't see underage because they have stronger antibodies. They may have COVID, but it won't kill them because they are stronger when it comes to antibodies and the immunities. But the old ones are dying. These school children have parents. They have grandparents. They will go to school. They will contact. They go back home.
And infect their parents?
They will infect them. It is not yet time. Let me tell you, if you take life as very important, even if it is 1 year that is lost in school, it will not affect the future of any of our children. When we started school at age 6, some of these children started at 3, at 4, and all that. If they are to be protected for 1 year before they resume school, is worth it. Why are we rushing? Even the people that know this, have you gone to the UK? Have you gone to the US? Have you gone to Europe? Have they asked their schools to resume? Why are we in a rush?
Worship centers.
Why should they resume? We can worship God at home. Yes, why should they resume? It shows that we don't fully appreciate the gravity of the impact of this pandemic, which is why we're even considering that for now. When you have rising cases on a daily basis, it's like you just want to kill people deliberately if you ask schools to resume at this point in time.
And churches and mosques.
Churches and mosques, I'm against resumption. Let everybody, even if, Pastor Adebayo, he said even if the church opens, he will not go. So, are we
more Catholic than the Pope?
That's my point.
I know where you're going.
Who is that church member that wants to say, he's more saint?
If the Vatican
is more saint than Pastor
and Saudi Arabia.
And our leader, Sultan Dasuki, also said mosques should not resume yet. Because you can pray to God. Even Saudi Arabia is considering cancelling Hajj for this year. There was no Umrah. So, if the people there that even own the religion are saying that it's not yet time, why are we in a rush? I don't think we should play to the gallery.
Because
there will be confusion.
There will be confusion.
People will advise you wrongly, which is why when it gets to governance, I will talk about courage and capacity. You understand? If you have the courage,
they will not only advise you, they will put pressure on you.
Which kind of pressure?
No, I'm just adding up to what you said. There are always pressure from various groups.
Yeah. Why must you
succumb to
pressure?
A governor Adelabu will not succumb to pressure.
Why would I succumb to pressure? We will do what is right. You understand? Because it's not every step of government that will go down well with 100% of the people. But let us go to where majority think we should go to. Not the few that will pressurize us because of their own
majority and
personal
science.
gains.
What of science? Majority and science.
Science, empirical evidence must dictate what we do. You understand? So I don't think I'm in support of schools resuming now.
You have said a lot about
schools resume.
Okay.
My daughter will not go back
to school. That's the breaking news, right? Now you've given an overview of your personal opinion on the way COVID has been managed. People are going to ask if you have the opinion that this government has not done enough. You rightly claim, which I agree with you, a critical stakeholder in your project. What have you done this COVID-19 season? What contribution have you made to alleviate challenges and problems of our folks here?
Thank you very much for that. I'm sure you're only asking me this question to allow our audience at home to know, because I know you know what I've done. So which is right anyway. This is one thing I'm not very good at, and a lot of people in my camp always disagree with me on this in terms of excessive publicity. I'm a very private and quiet person, and I believe whatever you do is between you and God must reward you for that. And it's obvious and visible that God has been rewarding me for my good deed. But now that you have asked me, I think I will blow my trumpet. Thank God I brought the trumpet here. Let me tell you, when this thing broke out, there are two things that we did. Number one, we thought of, people are going to stay at home. They're not going to work. Say for, civil servants alone will be getting some. But the artisans, the traders, they're not able to go to where they ply their trade. And how would they eat and all that? So what we did was to start buying food in large quantities. Then we talk about, that's for economic palliatives. Then we talk about protective items. We did a lot of face covers. We bought sanitizers in large quantities. You understand? And we started distributing. Even gloves at that time we started distributing. But one thing that I noticed was, in as much as it will not go around, people were scrambling to get a hold of this. And social distancing is also one of the protective measures. If we continue to distribute food, protective items, people will still be coming to our foundation office in large quantities, in large numbers. And I said, no, I don't want to be indicted for encouraging disobedience to social distancing. And we stopped that. And I said, what is the next way forward? Now let's make it flexible. We started collecting account numbers, not just APC members, I must tell you, the entire public. And I said that then, who are the people that really know the needy? They will say, okay, the Christian Association of Nigeria can, and the Muslim community of Oyo State. And we reached out to them. We gave them checks.
Their leaders are listening to you anyway.
Yes, give them checks. I won't disclose the amount. You understand? And we collected almost 15,000 names and account numbers of people. I can confirm to you authoritatively. The records are here, even on my phone. We transferred between 20,000 for some, 10,000 for some, and 5,000 for some. And then even later, we started transferring 2,500 to over 10,000 people. You understand? On that alone, we spent close to 40 million. On the food items that we bought, we spent about 25 million or so. You understand? In total, we spent close to 80 million on this in the last 2-3 months. You understand? But we know that even if you spend 1 billion, it cannot go round. It cannot go round 100%. You understand? So that's what we did. But people say, we should publicize this. We said, no, we don't have to publicize. People that got this money will be the one that will say it themselves. Then I'll give someone 10,000. I'll now come to radio and I'll start.
Was that the reason why you did not, honor your state government? Because they've been asking great sons like you to also donate.
I was coming to that.
We didn't hear anything from you.
Let me tell you something about donation. Between me and God, when they announced that, your state, even before, if they didn't even mention it, it's just right that, okay, you want to contribute something to your state. And I was planning to, let me raise a check or whatever I can afford. Good. Then, two things. The issue of 1 billion naira spent in 1 week came out. And I said 1 billion naira of government money that we are spending in 1 or 2 weeks with just 3 cases of COVID-19. How come?
Is that the reason why
I'm coming to that. What have they spent this money on? Nobody was able to give response in terms of transparency. And number 2 is, when you are contributing money, you understand, you also want to see the issue of accountability. Let's take a cue from Osun State.
Hold on a second. We want to have a break. We'll be back. More on this special edition of...
Firstly, I said that anybody that wants to do it to any cause like this, because this issue that concerns life of our people should not be politicized. Sincerely, it's not only government that is the stakeholder. All of us are critical stakeholders when it comes to handling the issue of COVID-19. And I expected the government to raise an all-embracing, all-inclusive team that will not just be PDP politicians and civil servants alone, for them to be able to manage the kind of fund that will raise and that is required for handling COVID-19. In Osun State, for example, even the man that contested with Oyetola, Adeleke, The brother was part of the COVID-19 team. The man that just left APC for PDP, our Emo, former governor Oyinlola, was part of it. The Oni of Ife, and a lot of other people. So it doesn't have any partisan coloration, rather. Ogun State, the same thing. If you do that, you are giving them the impression that you want to be transparent and you want them to be accountable. If you give, even if it is 1 naira of your sweat you want to give out, you want to see that it has gone to the particular issue or the cause that you have donated it for. It should be shrouded in any mystery, or cult-like setup. We must be transparent.
Are you saying the committee set up by Governor Seyi Makinde is not all-embracing enough?
It's not all-inclusive.
It's not all-inclusive?
It has not recognized all the stakeholders when it comes to this issue in Oyo State. That alone will encourage people to... How can Oyo State be talking about just a little over 300 million after 3 months of donating? It shows that the way I'm feeling, a lot of other people are feeling like that. A single person donated 500 million in Osun State. Same goes for Ogun State. We can't even be talking about Lagos State, where they have realized over 20-something billion. Because to fight this pandemic, we need money. And I know that Oyo State government, except we are deceiving ourselves, does not have the financial power to face this the way it should be faced.
But we have citizens.
Why are we shying away from taking the right step? We have citizens. Mm-hmm. Forget people like us that will stay in Ibadan. There are people even outside Ibadan that have stakes in this Oyo State. Go to Lagos, go to Abuja, go to even overseas. And those that have managed to donate, they have only given us crumbs, peanuts. Even they will give us smaller amount that they will give other states, and they are your state citizens. It shows that they have not really bought into this government's reason for raising the money. So it is the responsibility of government to ensure that citizens are encouraged. Even, what says that even the governor himself cannot lead and let others follow? The governor has not donated his personal money anyway. And I believe they can afford. If the governor has put down even 100 million or 200 or 300 million, which he can afford, you understand? Others will know that, okay, let us support this government. But no, we have not done that. And they have given the impression that the government has the money to spend. If you could say that you had a spare 1 billion naira somewhere that you could spend within the first 2 weeks of this outbreak, that means you are financially okay to handle it. So which is why we now said, instead of throwing this money, if it is 5 million or 10 million or 20 million or 50 million that one wants to donate, it is better I handle it myself and make sure I may be able to throw it to the cause directly, and I'm sure it will get to the cause. You understand? Well, that is why I have not.
You chose not to donate anything, so as we speak.
Whatever I'm doing on a personal level.
Let's talk politics now, away from COVID. 3 critical questions here from my end. 2019 election has come and gone, and if you look at the result and attestation of the eventual winner, Governor Makinde himself, it appears you lost the election. Chief Adelabu, you lost the election for a lot of reasons. One of them, those reasons I would just want us to explain them this morning. One of them, according to Governor Makinde himself, has to do with the fact that he was tipped over you because he had an alliance. He had a coalition that worked with him. That was why he was able to defeat you. So is it fair and safe to say Oloye Adelabu Penkelemesi, one-on-one with Governor Makinde, outside alliance? I want to ask you, do you think that result would have been different? That's number one. Number two, there were insinuations as well that one of the reasons that most political pundits also attributed to why you lost that election has to do with the fact that your godfather in politics, former Governor Abiola Jumobi, people, a lot of political pundits felt he was a drag on your ticket. That you lost because there were sins of Governor Abiola Jumobi that reflected in that election, which occasioned the defeat you had. I want to take on those 2 critical issues because I also remember there were rumors we also discussed it at this level in the last 2 weeks of your campaign, that the former governor was being asked to de-escalate his presence in your campaign so that it won't continue to hurt your poll numbers. So, those two questions, do you think without the alliance, would that result have been different? And do you also think the sins of the former governor has to do with your defeat?
Thank you very much. You just want to drag me into this. And I told you, behind camera that I was not going to go into the issue about the last election. But now that I'm on the spot, I think I don't have a choice than to listen to Your Highness. You know what? Upon all, let's say that God wanted Seyi Makinde to be governor. That is my conclusion. Because by the time you start rationalizing the reason why I lost, why he won, why this and that, you're just trying to play God. I believe that God wanted Seyi to be governor and for us to see his capabilities, to see what he can. Because, like I keep saying that, talk is cheap. You know what? God wanted Oyo State to confirm whether he had that capability to run the state to their satisfaction. That is why he said, okay, 2 people have contested, 1 person won, and we are seeing the results now. Anyway, 2023 is another decision year. But I can tell you that even if you ask the most ignorant person in this state during our campaign, we all knew that I was the candidate to beat. It was Adelabu and the others. And I can tell you that one-on-one with any of those other candidates, I had an upper hand. And Recipsa Loquito, you saw our campaign. You saw the way people supported us. The people that stood up to join our campaign team.
Over 350,000 people.
I'm telling you. So, but the coalition helped them in a way. You understand? Because the vote that we garnered was even more than the votes that brought in Governor Ajimobi in 2015. We scored 357,000 votes. In 2015, it was 330,000 votes. Even in 2011, it was 310,000 votes. So which means that people that have been voting for us, they still voted, and even more voted. And in those 2 other years, in 2011 and 2015, APC was together. There was no division, there was no...
I'm also going to go to that.
You understand?
Also another
but in 2019, we had our internal crisis. We had issues. A lot of people went their way. Oh, ADC broke away, Unity Forum, ADP, this and that. Despite this crisis, we had a higher vote, which means that our candidate was popular. But like I told you, that was the God's hand. It was God that made the coalition possible. And I can tell you that Seyi was not the first choice of the coalition. I'm saying this for the first time on here. I was the first choice that they wanted to work with. I can tell you.
We've been hearing the rumor of Chief Olokmeni and Co.
No. That is now. Let me not get to that one now. Baba Ladoja wanted to work with me together with my brother, my Egbon, Sharafadin Ali. They approached me. We had a meeting. You understand? Egbon Lanleyin, we discussed, and they wanted to support me. But like I told you, it did not. Maybe because I'm not a typical politician. I joined politics from being a technocrat and all that. I could not lie. I can tell you, if you're asking me for 30% in your government, 25% in your government, 50% in your government, I can foresee there will be trouble. I'll buy or comply with. I will not promise it upfront. But typical politician will tell you, promise it at that point. When it gets to implementation, you can disappoint. That disappointment is part of politics. I don't play politics that way because I don't want to be governor at all costs. Should be held for my words.
So these people gave you an offer.
They gave me an offer.
To work with them.
To work with them, yes.
So you gave them counter offer that was not okay with
them.
That
was not okay with them.
Because you are being sincere.
That I was just being sincere. I can tell you. You understand? And some other people have their reasons for, because of association with one or two people, they said to not work out, even though you are a brother, we like you, we know you can do it, you have the capability, you have the family pedigree, and you have passion for governance in your state. But for this reason, it will be tough for us. You understand? So, because it didn't work, the negotiation did not work out, they approached us first. But they went to someone that will promise them heaven and hearts. And when they get there, we can all see the results. Is
it not fulfilling?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. I will not go into that. But we all know that they've been having cracks and all the terms of the coalition have not been met. That's what I know. But I don't want to go into politics of other party. I am on party.
We are talking about your own postmortem, which you are doing.
So I'm saying that the coalition helped them to start with. You understand?
So Governor Shemakere couldn't have defeated you without the coalition. No, that's what you are stating.
I'm saying that everybody knows that. He could not have. Let me tell you, if it was someone that have not tried his luck before, he scored less than 50,000. The first time he contested,
46,000
votes. You understand? My first time I scored close to 400,000. We have almost 40% of the voters. So as we are talking today, 40%. I'm assuming genuine votes of 515,000 because God has said, it's genuine. You understand? But sooner or later, the secrets about 2019 elections will be revealed.
Wow.
I won't say more than that. Let's assume they have genuine votes. Over close to 40% of your state people wanted me. You understand? So we're a popular candidate. But God says it's not yet time. And I know that from his antecedents of his history with me, he's preserving me for better days.
Will you say that reason you just raised as regards the internal problem of APC, how well do you think 1 year down the line that problem has been managed and resolved? The internal crisis of APC in 2019, which also occasioned your defeat. How will you say today? How well have they managed that?
Before I get to that, there's the second part of your question. I remember I've not touched it. The Ajimobi factor.
Oh, the sins.
The Ajimobi, let me tell you, we should not personalize this thing. It's not Ajimobi. Anybody, it is the government in power that you can actually point out their loopholes. It's when you are in power that people can see your faults, even if you have tried. It's that fault that they want to use that they will look for. So, of course, the sins of the incumbent will be visited on his anointed candidates.
Absolutely.
Course. You understand? But I'm saying even despite that, God just wanted it to happen like that. We're not saying Governor Ajimobi was 100%, but we've been scoring governors in these states. I'm still telling you that Governor Ajimobi is number one in terms of achievements. You may talk about other things that, the way he talks to us, the way he did it. Let me tell you, his job is to govern the states. And he has done it to the best of his ability. In terms of achievement, from education to health, physical infrastructures, road infrastructures, social infrastructures, nightlife, security, commerce, tourism, culture, Ajimobi performed above average. You understand? So if you are saying that it's sins, I don't fully understand. Because as a governor, you will step on toes. If you don't want to step on toes, you cannot govern properly. If everybody must be laughing when you talk, if everybody must be hailing you, then you are not doing the right thing. Which is why I talk about courage to do certain things and capacity to implement such programs. I keep talking to people about the 3 C's of good governance. Number 1 is compassion. You understand? You must have the love of the people at heart. You want them to have a good life and all that. You must have courage. The courage is what will make you do things that, even though you may not go down well with them initially, sooner or later they will see the impact, which is what Governor Ajimobi did. Then from this courage, you must have capacity to implement. You may have individual capacity. I don't expect the governor to. He's an engineer. He cannot be accountant. He cannot be doctor. He cannot be an agriculture expert. But you can have purchased capacity, which is why you have the executive. You have commissioners. You have SAs. You can bring people to you that can handle those areas where you are not so lettered. You understand? So I've not seen them display that courage and capacity. Fine, they have compassion. because they are paying salaries. They want to.
We're going there. We're going there.
You understand?
We're going there. Not yet. But so, you've not told us the ongoing efforts at reconciling, the challenges your party had in 2019. Yes. Reconciliation efforts of APC in the state. How well is it going?
That election was an eye opener to us. I'm telling you, because we said that in spite of these multiple breakaway factions in APC, we could still score close to 400,000. Imagine if Unity Drive has not broken away, Unity Forum, if ADC has not been formed from APC, if ADP remain part of us, you understand, we could have scored well over 600,000 votes. You understand? We're now saying that, going forward, this election has taught us a lesson that God will always be God. We should not assume his status as human beings. It is only what he wants to make possible that will be possible. No matter how great we are as human beings, we still remain human beings. So we need each other. And arrogance.
Some people are inconsequential.
Should be eliminated. You understand? Even if you believe that, this thing, once I stretch my hand, I can take it. And because someone is there that's supposed to throw it to you, you are fighting with the person. When it's ready for you to take that thing, it may be moved a bit, that you need the person to throw it to you. You understand? So everybody is important, and we have realized that, which is why you have seen us, that we have started engaging in a lot of reconciliation moves, both at the national level and at the state level. You know about the reconciliation committee headed by Governor Alau Akala. You understand? They're working. And very soon, you start seeing the results of the activities. You've seen the reconciliation committee given to us at the national level, headed by Baba Akande. You understand? That one too, because reconciliation should be at various levels. At our own personal levels, we are doing reconciliation. I'm also reaching out to people that I believe we will need ourselves. This is not the time for campaign. This is not the time for politics. But I believe that the journey to 2023 is starting now, and we need ourselves.
Are you trying to enlarge? Are you trying to enlarge your umbrella by also bringing in new people?
Of course.
Apart from those you are trying to reconcile.
Of course. Because, like I keep saying that when you know the truth, the truth will set you free. You may have been in the dark for certain reasons, for sentimental reasons. But the moment you can see light, you'll be gravitating towards that light, which is what we are seeing now. Because let me tell you, if Sheyi did not perform as your state governor in 4 years, and our house still remains scattered, and he's still able to get his coalition people together, they will still beat us. So we have realized that we must solidify our home first. And APC is that party to beat in Oyo State. It still remains the party to beat in Oyo State. But we are mending fences. We are reconciling our people. We are appealing to people that have gone away. And because they don't have any other. In fact, the other side, the grass is not greener.
Are you trying to
bring? No longer greener.
Are you trying to bring from the other side too?
Of course, they will even come voluntarily. They will come voluntarily. Because they have seen that what they voted for in 2019, this is how far it can take them. You understand? But like I told you, don't let us drag ourselves into politics of 2023 now. Oyo State is our state. We all are stakeholders. We owe the state good governance. Good governance.
And yes. That is my final question to you. What will you consider as the highs and lows of the 1 year of this current administration as a critical stakeholder? What will you say? Will you say Governor Sheyi Makinde has been able to build on legacies left behind by your APC administration under Governor Bayo? And do you also think, are you excited about some of the new initiative he has also introduced in the last 1 year that you think is in tandem with good governance in the state? Highs and lows.
Thank you very much. I said in my opening remark that anybody that wants to compare Governor Ajimobi's 8 years with GSM Sheyi Makinde's 1 year is very unfair and is being political in approach. You don't mark an exam midway. You cannot. Until the person finishes the exam, then you will now mark whether he has done well or he has not done well. So I will not be able to conclude that Seyi Makinde has done well until after 4 years. But my own question is, has he started well?
Your take?
Now, I will relate this to writing exams. You've got 4 questions. 3 of the questions carry 30 marks each. 1 question carries 10 marks, and you've got 3 hours. You understand? And you have spent 1 hour on a question that carries just 10 marks. Even if you know what to write for the 3 other questions that carry total of 90 marks, by the time you wasted so much time on the 10 marks question, will you have enough time to answer those 3 other questions that carry the 90 marks?
That
is what is happening.
What's the meaning of that?
Like I told you, the way I will handle it is, Adebayo has stopped at a particular point. In 1 year, in all the sectors, as this government built on the achievements, have they achieved an incremental gain on from Ajimobi's achievements? You understand? Because the issue of the 10 marks question and the 30 marks, the 3 questions carry 30 marks, is about payment of salaries. In fact, we don't need the governor to pay salaries. It's what civil servants can handle on their own. The money comes from Abuja, get to the accountant general, and they pay salary. That is it. It doesn't require any critical thinking. You understand? Even if you don't have a governor, you can easily pay salary. But what about those other critical sectors that the government is supposed to be felt in? What have they achieved in there? Number 1 is security. We Ajimobi left it. What have we achieved? Is it better now or worse than Ajimobi in terms of security in Oyo State?
The government bought so many cars. The government also, curiously, the CCTV, the governor at the point in time during campaign said was going to scrap it. But I think a few days ago, he doubled. He saw good things in it, and he said he's going to improve on that. So continue to make sense out of what you said. What has he not done right when it comes to security?
Because I will not just talk to the hair or just be blabbing. I want to talk to the points. You understand? We'll pick a few of the critical sectors, and that's what we need to use to assess whether they have started well or not.
Bring it on.
Because in terms of security, it's the impact that you are going to measure. Of late, we've seen pockets of crimes, car snatching, robbery, in the last 1 year. That did not happen in 8 years of Ajimobi. There are crimes all over now. You understand? We've seen return of area boys. Ekugbemi versus Ebila, the 1 million boys. These are people that were dead during the 8 years of Ajimobi. In all the local areas now, go there, you see fights. In fact, almost every night, armed robbers go to that area. You may not know because you live here. Go to Kudeti, go to Okpo, you see that. All those ones were not there during Ajimobi. We've seen lots and lots of, in fact, it's an everyday issue. The rape cases in Oyo State. In fact, we are getting notorious now among the Committee of States. The rape cases is higher in Oyo State than any other state in Nigeria. You understand? We've seen there's no night economy again because people now live in fear. Even before the curfew started.
Occasioned by COVID-19 anyway.
Before the curfew started, it has really gone down. It wasn't what it was when Ajimobi was there in terms of nightlife. And the trust fund, the security trust fund that I used to chair, is no longer as functional. It is just yesterday or 2 days ago that they said they recommissioned what we have commissioned before we left. Which is why, as a governor, you should be proactive. You should know what is good and what is not good. Look at the comment Governor Seyi Makinde passed during our campaign about installing CCTVs for crime monitoring and emergency response.
He said it doesn't make sense because
he told us that it doesn't make sense.
No, because there was no proper electrification. No, lightning.
We started the lightning.
That's what he said.
We started the lightning.
How do you install CCTV when everywhere is in darkness?
Mayor, you were there when we were asked what we were to do in the first 90 days. You remember the issue of lightning. And even before we left office, we started all this ring road, we did it. Songo to UI, we did it before I left office. From UI down to Bodija to Secretariat, we did it. The Security Trust Fund, we were lighting up. So that Operation Light Up Ibadan was our idea. And we installed the CCTV, we installed the Crime Monitoring Center, the emergency response, even the code. We got the code before we left the office. The 3 codes, we got it.
So you're happy?
So why will you?
He's not scrapping.
Why will you condemn?
He's improving it.
Let me tell you, which is why we need to sanitize the way we do politics in Nigeria. You are condemning something for political gains, just to appeal to the people that we were wasting money. Now you are back to it. I saw Facebook yesterday. People were showing my pictures and all the screen and all that we did, and you are going there to because there is nothing tangible for them to commission, which is why they went back to what we now everybody is protecting their family houses now so that the recommissioning committee will not come and start recommissioning our family houses.
No.
Or even,
that one is too low.
House.
that one is too low. So critical sectors.
So if by the time you are done with these projects that you are commissioning, you go back to Akala project, you go back to Laja project, and even Bolage, and you start recommissioning. We need to move forward. We are just jokers in this state. I'm telling you. They have 3 more years to correct it, but 1 year, sincerely, nothing to write home about. But they have never disappointed me because I never expected them to in the first 1 year. What we are seeing now is just the result of a sudden and unexpected victory of their party.
Why are you saying this government was never prepared
to
govern?
Of course, we all know that we were not prepared. We were busy. We were the one working on our manifestos. You've seen all the debates that we had. Well, we weren't talking about security, talking about education, talking about health, commerce, transportation, housing. We were the one doing all that. They were just looking for ways to win the election. So when they won it, it was sudden, it was unexpected. So they had that 1 year to now sit down. So they have the opposition of 1 year because going forward, this state must move. It is to my interest for this state to move. If it doesn't move, my business will not make money. My families will not make money. My friends, my political associates will not make money. I will need money for 2023 elections again. So I will not say this state should not work. It must work. It must work.
So your thumbs down.
That's security. Sincerely, Ajimobi's regime, they have not improved it. It is worse than what we had. Environment. Can you tell me that we are cleaner now than we were under Ajimobi? Are we cleaner? Go to Oje, go to Ritamari, go to Ojaba. You see heaps of refugees all over the medians of the road. Go to Iwo Road, go to everywhere. But it's dirtier now than it was. It's not as if it needs money. There are certain things that you can do that don't really need. Go to all our junctions. All the Almajiris have left Kano and Kaduna. They are now back in Oyo State. Beggars all over at our junctions. That's environment. So even if you talk about the mentally derailed, they are now madmen. Strolling our streets. They were not there under Ajimobi now. They were all cleared.
They were cleared into Soka, which became a mess. You remember?
You see.
It became a mess that time.
Open defecation everywhere. So in terms of environment, we are not even the waste managers are not effective. You could not. There's no way you sack some waste collectors without putting a better arrangement. You understand? They are not effective. Everywhere is dirty. But it's back to those old days of the dirtiest city in Nigeria. You understand? So I'm saying that if you compare where we're coming from to where we are now, we are worse off in terms of security and environment. And if you talk about in terms of agriculture, to start with, we have misplaced priorities. I keep saying that Oyo State is still the largest in terms of landmass down the south of Nigeria with over 28,000 square kilometers.
That's a massive asset.
Agric is our competitive advantage. This agric, Okyogun, constitutes more than 2/3 of our farmland. Why would you want to spend 7.6 billion naira on agric and you restrict it to Akufo and Erua, which is in the same senatorial constituency? which is Ibadan.
No, they said those are test projects. I mean, they're just starting from there.
7.6 billion.
No, they're flagging it up from there. That's what they said, and I'm going to take you to the rest.
When we are in the second year of this administration, we have the land in Okiogun. Do they have plans for livestock? The climate there is the best for it. For arable farms is the best. Why would you neglect the entire of Okiogun when you have an agric plan? What's your agric policy that say you must restrict it to? How much land do we have in Ibadan?
You are not impressed with the agric business they just initiated?
In Okiogun, I'm saying that go to where you have the best opportunity to grow things and to rear animals, large animals. It is Okiogun. Where will you put farm settlement in Akufo and Erua, and the office of the commission is in Shaki? What kind of arrangement is that? Does it make sense? It doesn't. Any agric policy that is excluding Okiogun is not a serious agric policy. I'm telling you. That's where we need to start from. And still on this agric, we've not even seen their articulated agricultural plan. What is the plan for livestock farming? What is the irrigation plan? What is their preservation and storage plan? And what is the price stability plan for agric? And lastly, what is the distribution and transportation plan? Government rail is ending at Moniya. What stops us from engaging investors to extend this rail from Moniya to Kishi? This will have covered, she's saying, Okeo, Aguare, Aguamodu, Shaki, Igbo, Igbeti, and Kishi, to move farm produce down to meet the federal government rail at Moniya. From there, it's going to our seaports for exports in Lagos, and it's going to distribution points in Lagos or any other place. What is wrong with that? We need to start thinking big in Oyo State. We are a big state, but we are thinking pedestrian. We are thinking too low of ourselves. And if you aim for the moon, if you don't meet the moon,
So you are not impressed with this infrastructural initiative, the roads that are being reconstructed, the roads that are being reawarded.
That is agric. I've talked about agric. You understand? It's misplaced priority. That's number 3. And we're talking about education. Let me tell you, 1 year, when I was in Lagos for 24 years working, before I moved to Abuja to work for another 4 years in Abuja. When Fashola was there, people were, 1 year is too low, it's too short for you to. Fashola was giving account every 100 days of that administration of achievements. After 1 year, I think we need to challenge this government that every 3 months, 90 days to 100 days, come out and tell us what government has achieved. It should challenge its commissioners. He's not the only one. If you are putting too much burden on yourself, you cannot achieve anything. I can talking to you right now, I can't remember the name of any commissioner in Sheyi's cabinet. They are not visible. You can't be jack of all trade. You be master of none. That is why you have appointed them. I said, acquire this capacity for them to help your government and help us as citizens. What is the education plan? How many new classrooms have we added since Ajimobi left? How many new teachers have we employed since Ajimobi left? And how many chairs and tables and books have we distributed? And what is the funding requirement of a qualitative free education in your state? Anybody can come and promise you free education on the lips alone. We need to know the funding requirement for you to give qualitative free education. It is not cheap. If you're asking parents not to pay 3,000 per year again. You understand? And once you get this funding requirement, what is the funding plan? Where do you hope to get this money from? Otherwise, you just be talking about free education and the children are not getting any education. Whether it's free or is purchased. You understand? So, what about the school's governing council model of Ajimobi? This is one of those laudable Ajimobi's policies that this government is supposed to ride upon. I was part and parcel of it as chairman of our grade school. Demolaya can testify. What we were able to achieve during the first 2 or 3 years of this policy.
They've not scrapped it. It's still
so
in
force. But it's so idle. Nobody is doing anything about it. That is where we have brought in the old students to take part in funding education, the communities to take part in funding education, the religious organizations to take part in funding education. The same thing with commerce. The organized private sectors, they are not part of this government at all. You know, so in terms of education, what have we done? So again, compare with where Ajimobi left it, we have worsened, we have deteriorated. In terms of health, what is the state of our state hospital? We've talked so much about
it on COVID.
Adebayo, we have not done anything.
We've talked about COVID.
Yemetu, Ring Road, Shaki, Ogbomoso, Oyo, go to those places. They are death centers. They are not hospitals. It's quite unfortunate. We have not done anything to this. There's no articulated program on their primary health care. Every ward, like I said during my campaign, that we should have a primary health care unit. We have 451 wards. Am I right?
Are you aware of various
351 wards?
Are you aware that?
What does it take? You must start from somewhere. I'm not saying open all of them same day. No. But start from.
But they are doing it as we speak. Several are commissioned.
It is two per local government.
Several are commissioned in the last couple of.
Where is the plan?
Several have been commissioned in the last.
Like how many?
I'm telling you.
After
7.
After 1 year. 3 after 1 year. By extrapolation, they will do 12 by the end of when we have 33 local government. Is that PHC? PHC must be at the doorstep of our people. When we were growing up at Oluyoro Catholic Hospital, we go to Idiogogo to get treatment. Dispensary at Idiogogo. It is all over. We should be taken back to those days. This is not the time for campaign. So, but I'm just a bit passionate.
I said I'm going to allow you to speak your mind and then, give your opinion.
How many more doctors have we employed after Ajimobi left? How many more nurses? How many more medical officers have been added to our hospital system since Ajimobi left? That is when you measure whether she has started well or he has not. But he has opportunity to correct this in another 3 years.
Now, like I said, I've allowed you.
Road infrastructure. Please, I have two or three more. Road infrastructures. Tell me, how many more kilometers have we done? You understand? How many of Ajimobi's ongoing projects have we completed? No, we have not. And if Ajimobi have taken up urban roads, because Ibadan is divided into 3 parts. You have the urban side, which is Ibadan North and all that, from Makola, UCH, Bodija and all that. Ring Road, Yagaku, Jericho. Ajimobi concentrated there. But you also have the 2 other areas to concentrate. You have the second part, which is the local area from Oje, Aliwo, Oje, Isaleafa, Tebidire, to Bere, Makpo, Dameri, and Ojaba, Idiarere. That side, the roads, have we touched them at all? Then you have the greater Ibadan, which is after the express, from Soka, from Togate Methodist, you see Soka to Olomi. That goes into
what
I'm coming.
What if all this you are talking about is
then
part of
Muslim?
It may be part of the second year agenda.
Which second year agenda?
No, I'm just asking you.
The policy must be well articulated.
Because you're not in government. How will you know?
We owe.
You're not in government.
They owe us to publicize.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with you.
Well, so, now that we are saying it, a lot of people have been texting me here. I should not say so much about our plan. I say no. They will steal it. Let them steal it. It's to our own benefit.
Demola, if I allow you, I have allowed you.
Road infrastructure, we have not done that. You understand? Even the same thing with commerce and industrialization. The private sector, organized private sector, they are not part of this government.
You have said it.
Government cannot. The park system. Why must we spend our money to build parks? It's not a social investment. It's a commercial investment. If it's that profitable, invite investors.
PPP.
Spend our money on hospitals and schools. You understand? You have not done that. People are not establishing industries here. They are packing up. You understand? How many new companies have we added? Investors. Do we have investors?
All those one will come up in second year. Demola Babalola.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Demola. Tourism and hospitality. When Ajimobi was there, we had 2 outlets of ShopRite. We had Best Western, a franchise hotel. We had Golden Tulip. We had the Ukran. We had a lot of other things, Ventura, coming up. These are things that will show that government is performing and people are bringing. Agodi Garden is there. What has this government done to bring back the lively days of Ibadan?
So you've raised those concerns of yours and areas where you believe this government should, work on. Demola,
thank you very much.
Your take on all of this.
Thank you very much, Egbon Bayo Adelabu.
Thank you very much.
I know, anytime, any day, you are very deep, and that's no questioning that. You will know your type. But our time is fast spent. Fortunately, we don't have enough time again. But sir, when you were talking, a number of things came in through my phone. Senator Olufemi Lanley sent in an SMS to my phone. He said, and I quote, I am listening to my Bayo Adelabu's interview. I do say authoritatively that I did not negotiate with Bayo Adelabu, either directly or indirectly. In fact, Dr. Fayemi approached me on his behalf, but I respectfully turned him down without ado. I don't have any regret for being in the coalition that brought in Seyi Makinde. It was the best decision in the circumstance.
Senator Lanley. Yes. I just got that.
That is just.
We all have it.
By the way, anyway, we'll spend the time later. My take when we commence this program, and in between there were jingles of Adelabu Foundation, jingles of your investments all over the city of Ibadan, which all of us are aware of and we know quite well. But how much of this support of the investment or revenue in the area of tax payment to the state government? What you must also assist the government to work. If you have said so far that they have not started at all, that is a summary of what you have said in the last 90 minutes. We'd like to know how much of support are you giving in terms of payment of revenues, your
being a good citizen corporately
to help the state government to perform and to work better for all of us as citizens.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Yes, there's no doubt that we have an encyclopedia on governance in our midst this morning. I want to ask you, sir. You have said that Oyo State does not have the money to do, to face COVID as they ought to be facing it, and I know that in terms of raising money, making money, you are an expert. What advice would you give? So many things you have said that they should do that they are not doing. I mean, in your own view, what do you think they can do? IGR wise, then even federal allocation, we all know that nothing, is going to be paltry henceforth because of this COVID pandemic. What advice would you give in that direction? Or now they can show up the IGR and ensure that they have enough money, to do all these things that you have told them that they should do?
Thank you, sir. Just two questions from me. In the 2019 election, you and your party won 5 local governments, while PDP and Seyi Makinde won the remaining of the 33. It was a rousing this thing, but you went to court. Will you tell us why you still challenged his election? Was it just to fulfill all righteousness, to make your followers feel happy, or what? That's number one. Like my colleague said, one of the things you told us here during the final debate was that you just know how to make money. And I know you were so mature while assessing Governor Seyi Makinde's government in the last 1 year. I mean, you just felt you just felt it was not. But thankfully, we saw you giving a very incisive and a good assessment much later. Now, we can always assess a government year on year. We can say, okay, the first year. For example, we can compare the first year of Seyi Makinde to first year of Ajimobi, since they are back to back. Now, if you had been there in the last 1 year, you are an expert in making money, and you know how to bring up the private sector. If you were the one there in the last 1 year, what would you have done that Governor Seyi Makinde has not done in his first year in office?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think I will start from that one.
The Senator Laleh,
from Senator Laleh,
he never discussed.
Let me tell you that, like I told you earlier, that I'm not here to drag issues and all that. I told you that I spoke to Senator Laleh. I didn't say we negotiated. You understand? I never said we negotiated. That he said that I was his first choice of, if possible, to
work with,
align with. You understand? But for certain reasons that made it difficult for you. You understand? We spoke on phone. You understand? And like I told you the other one, I mean, of course, I met with Zenith Labour Party. You understand? I mean, so, but let me tell you that it's just that we need to let our people know certain things. A number of things that you don't need to even say on air and all that. But that is politics for you. It may not have worked out the last time. We're all brothers.
Can you pace up your responses so that we could beat the time?
It may work up the next time. And going by
how much have you paid in terms of tax?
Of course. My business will not be existing if we don't pay. Even, I mean, to real estate, we all know, we pay for plan, we pay, the payees, the staff, we pay on their salaries. We pay everything that we're supposed to pay in terms of tourism, we pay tourist charges, we pay to all the local government and the state government and all that. Whatever we're supposed to pay, we are paid. And the government has not really disturbed. I can give them that anyway. They're not vindictive, they're not victimizing us, and we're just operating. We're all in this. Then the issue of COVID funding, I told you that this COVID funding goes beyond government alone. The federal government needs to come to our aid. They should not just focus on the epicenter Lagos alone. Almost all the states should be supported in terms of funding COVID-19 handling. You understand? And giving us treatments, kits, and all that we need it. Then individuals that are not partisan should also be co-opted into the committee. It should not be made a PDP thing. It's Oyo State. We are all stakeholders in Oyo State, and we should all be part of fighting against COVID-19. You understand? So, beyond government and the people of Oyo State, there are also international organizations. There are multilateral organizations that are ready to help. We all just need to reach out. By the time you tell them the profile of Oyo State, population, landmass, and all the historical landmarks that are in Oyo State here, we are a very important state in Nigeria. WHO is there. They can help us. IFC is there. UNESCO is there. There are a lot of organizations that can actually, we need money for this. That is funding. Then the issue of going to court. Like I told you that court has decided. So it will not be appropriate for me to be passing comment on this. But let me tell you, so we got good facts before we could proceed to court. There were anomalies in the conduct of the election. And we have gone to court to contest. We got to the Supreme Court. That's how far we can go legally. But now it's a thing of the past. It's not just to fulfill righteousness or to make our members happy. That's what I would. Then lastly, you said, if I were the governor, let me become governor first. You know what? Because like I told you that human beings, we propose, God disposes. You understand? We can only give ideas like I've been doing to assist the government. When I get there, you see what I can achieve. And you can also go to my past and my incidents, all that I've laid my hands upon, whether they have been successful or not.
You said when I get there. It is not if. That means you are very sure.
Are you in
people of Oyo State will take me, of course.
In 2023.
Oyo State people are still with us. They will take us there.
I just got these two quick ones from listeners. They're asking me to find out what's the relationship with BC or Chief BC Olokpenia, a chieftain of APC, and your take on PAC of PDP, and your take on PAC management system. Then I also got this. They said, why did you buy a car for a notorious kingpin, Tog Ebila, that you bought him a car, Ebola, what do you call him? That's what they sent me a text. Now you bought him a Camry or something, because you're the one saying thugs are everywhere now. But at the point in time, you bought a kingpin.
No.
So quickly respond to that.
Bisi we all know is our brother. He's our Egbo now. That's one thing about Ibadan or your state. We are all brothers. Our politics should not separate us. The fact that we belong to different political settings has not defeated the fact that we are brothers. So after election, we are back as brothers. He's my good Egbo, and he's a respected politician. And we know that.
It's John meeting like that.
Which meeting?
No, I'm just asking. No, Egbo and
if I visit Olopo here today, I'm visiting him as my Egbo.
Okay.
In Ibadan. You understand? And as a known, credible politician. You understand? So I don't think there's any sin if I associate with Mr. Olopo. I respect him so much. You understand? And like I told you that if you've been in the dark and you're able to see the light, you gravitate towards the light.
Is there a light?
I won't say more than that. So on the park system, you know.
And the car you bought for?
I never bought a car for.
Okay,
who is the dealer that will buy?
No, someone just send me a text.
No, there will be rumors now. Why would I buy a car for? Okay. Have I bought cars for everybody in my family? That I will now say.
No, your family may not carry. They can't carry guns for you.
No way.
They can't defend police.
We don't carry guns.
Okay.
No, I did not buy a car for anybody.
Okay.
I can tell you that. On the park system, I can tell you that. Let me tell you, it's a wrong move. Yes, because it's not sustainable. It can never be enduring. There is an association, a trade association, which is the NURTW.
You're not impressed they're making money for government now?
Which money are they making that NURTW cannot make? Let me tell you, if you have a national association that has presence in every state, and they are as organized as any other trade union, they have their offices already built, and they have the way they operate. If you want to be the governor and you want to assert yourself as a governor, you can say that you want these people in this NTRW. Not that you will neglect them, you understand, you will proscribe them and bring in park managers. The people that are park managers, are they not members of this NURTW? They are. Another governor will get there now, he will scrap the park management. And it's a waste of money too. They will start building their own offices now, here and there, instead of using existing offices. I believe the governor should also review that area. He should reconcile the NURTW and let them be the permanent managers of the parks. And the government will make money.
The number one journalist in the state, you wrap it up. I know you've been winking. Final word too.
Thank you very much, Mayor. The other area I want to touch on is the APC, which you have discussed at length.
At length.
But sir, do you have any, with the going on now at the national level of the APC, like 3 or 4 claimants to the leadership of the APC, national level, national chairman? Do you foresee any future in the APC as a party, vis-a-vis what is going on at the national level today?
Of course, APC is here to stay. I don't see anything that can actually break the party. Internal crisis is normal, you understand, and very soon it will be fully resolved.
We have a full house today. Virtually a lot of associates of Chief Adebayo Adelabu with him in the studio. I must really thank you on behalf of the chairman, Dr. Yinka Yefele MON. You chose that when we are going to speak after 1 year, it will be this station, and you have honored that. Alhaji Wale Sanusi, a chieftain of BBC, is in the house. Ajiboye Akonde is also in the house. Honorable Lekan Ahmed, Comrade Femi Awogboro, Mr. Adeshokan, our friend, regular here, and Alhaja Folashade at DBC, Mr. Wale Koka is also here. Mr. Babayemi, Mr. Wasiu Adeyemo, Yemo Alaga, and of course, Mr. Taufik. I must thank all of you, and of course our listener, the best political gang in the business. I think we have done what we're supposed to do. We've done our job as journalists. We've allowed you to air your mind. We said you have 90 minutes to speak out. We're not going to interrupt you. But let me also assure you, you've said a lot today. And I'm pleased to inform the people of Oyo State that next week start today, 10 a.m. here, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Bayo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, will be live in this building.
That's good.
Another cracker. 10 a.m. next Saturday, His Excellency Governor Makinde will be here. Chief Adelabu, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much too. I appreciate your company. Anytime I'm here, I'm always inspired.
Fire, we don't feel in that.
Always inspired, and I believe that very soon I'll be back again. But let's give the government another 6 months. Okay. Maybe now that they have listened to our own side, they can actually make corrections in their steps.
Babatunde Said, Mr. Sport, next here at the Southwest Political Headquarters.
Fresh 105.9 FM. Your